Hey, MJ, can you hear me? Let me know. I think it's just us. I started a little bit early. Okay, good. Hey, welcome to my office. We are doing a quick live today with Kayt. Oh, here she comes. Let me see if she can come on. From Words and Wonder in South Africa. She has a little bit of a different time zone. Kim, hey! I know, she's probably like, you're doing a live? What? Okay, I don't know if it worked. I tried to hit accept twice now, and it's not working. I hope it's not just me here for 15 minutes. She did give me, it says you're unable to join, Kayt. She did give me questions. So worst case scenario, I can read off the questions. So we will just keep going. Let's see. Let me try again with poor old. See, I don't know why, but it's not working. It's not letting her in. So we're going to be doing a very quick author snippet because I don't do lives very often for reasons because I'm super nervous. But I'm talking a little bit about my newest release, A Sea of Golden Chains, that just came out on Friday. It's my second book in my backwards fairy tale. And oh, Kate's here.
Hi. Hey. Oh no, it's so horrible.
Oh no, you're fine. I was just telling them about my new book. Unfortunately, I don't have one without the banner because it takes forever for author copies to get here. So I'm hoping by Christmas I'll have some, but I have this one with me. Hi, how are you?
I'm good. You?
Good. Awake, barely.
What time does your day start? Like you have to take your kids to school.
Yes. So I got up I'm not a morning person, so this might be like nothing for other people, but I got up at 6:45 today. And I made breakfast and got everybody out the door. And they go to a Christian private school. They're right next door to each other, but I dropped one off and then I have to go wait in line for the other one. And then I came home and made myself look like I didn't just roll out of bed. So that's for you.
Yeah, I didn't with the Instagram live it only shows the face and that's horrible. So oh well. What can you do? So I want to introduce my friend Heather.
Hi.
Over here.
Hello.
Hi. This is my friend Heather from Mossel Bay.
Yes.
And we're heading out for the next 2 weeks.
So thank you. Good questions today.
Yeah, thank you for choosing the 8. I was busy going through the questions with Heather and saying, well, it's fine, Callie's super duper busy, so I understand that she didn't choose 8 questions. And then as I was saying that, the 8 questions that you chose came through. So yay, thank you.
I like to wait till the very last second. Keep on your toes.
You were waiting until yesterday, so it's fine. Okay, so who's here? How many people? Can you see?
I think there's three of us. 3 or 4.
That's better than 0.
I know it's early for everyone, so thank you for coming, all you morning people, or I guess some are in Europe. I have a couple of readers in Europe too. Continue on. Oh, you were asking about Forest?
Okay, so what inspired you to write A Forest of Stolen Memories? And how did you come up with the idea?
Okay, so A Forest of Stolen Memories was my debut story. I actually was working on my cover.
That's insane. How do you do that well?
Well, I started out writing. I was actually writing The Captain's Daughter for my NaNoWriMo project, and I had this kind of lightning bolt idea. But I think I was in Japan, and it was what if I started at the end of the fairy tale, but it wasn't a happily ever after as I had thought it would be. And so what would happen if I erased her memories? Would she still make the same choices? Would she still pick the same love interest? What if Prince Charming wasn't so charming? And so I was like, I'm not working on this right now. I have this project. So I don't know, any writer probably would understand this. We always have all these ideas just floating around in our head, and you really have to stay on track to not get distracted by all the little plot, story butterflies that are flying around. And so I pushed before stolen memories to the side, and I was like, I'm going to finish my task, what I'm working on. That was, I think, the hardest part is starting a story, writing it all the way through and finishing it without getting distracted. And I got to the point where I think it was in spring around April, Kindle Vella was announced from Amazon, and they said they were looking for writers, for serial writers. And I was like, wow, this might be my perfect opportunity to start my writing career. And I was like, what would be the best story to start with? And so I went with that, and I decided to make it a YA fantasy for my niece, because I like fantasy. I like fantasy romance, but I wasn't liking the way that things were turning for like the YA genre. It's becoming, I know some would say I'm dark because I don't feel like I'm as dark as some of the books that are out right now, but I try to give them like a better alternative to what's out there. And what was your question about the second one? It was about Marigold. What was that one?
Well, I'll ask you that in a moment, but I actually have a quick follow-on question with Forest. Something I've been talking about for a while is, I love the title, A Forest of Stolen Memories, but the memories weren't stolen really by the forest, they were stolen by the curse, and it happened like at the wedding. She lost her memory. So why a forest of stolen memories?
Why is it called a forest? Because her, I can't say too much because it might give away some of the spoilers, but she might be finding her memories in the forest. So, and yes, and so I won't say more than that because I know when people get to a certain point in the book, they are excited and then they're very mad at me. And then it kind of, it's a little bit of a roller coaster for a little bit, and then I make it all worth it in the end. I always want to make sure that I mention that I always end my my books with a happy ending. So even if I'm torturing my characters through the journey, it will always end happy. So just hang in there.
Even if you think it was until the very end, and then suddenly it's happy. Yep.
I know Rose was a close one.
He had my heart like going over time. Big time.
Did you see MJ? She said you only get mad at me one time. Okay, there might have been a few times that I might have took you on a roller coaster.
There were more than a few.
I feel like I was better with Marigold. Marigold wasn't as turbulent, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. I felt like Forest, I had to take a break, I had to take a break so that I wouldn't have a heart attack. Whereas I didn't quite happen, but I still felt like I was going on a roller coaster. That's the same. So yeah. The other question, the follow-on one, part of this was, did you know the plot line for the Sea of Golden Chains then already while you were writing Forest, or did that come later? Because you got both sisters. And
so I'm a pantser when I write, which sounds weird if you don't know what that means. I do wear pants. It means that when I'm writing a story, I don't really plot out points. I kind of just write and I kind of listen to the characters and they kind of tell me what's going on. And I'm like, oh, I didn't know that was happening. And I act surprised just like everybody else. And so when I was writing Rose, I didn't know she had a sister. And as I continued writing her, like I found her motivation as she went. And I didn't even know really about Marigold probably until about halfway through and I knew where she was. And I was like, do I really want to do another? Because I really want to write a rom-com too. So I was hoping to pop out of fantasy and maybe do a rom-com. But Marigold was like, you can't just leave me here. So I was like, okay, all right. I will write your little story. Let's one more time. Let's just show the side. Your little story. And
Short.
yeah, super short. It's just a smidge. That's a lot. I don't want you to go in there and really think it's short. It's not. And so
Sorry, I have to interrupt you. It felt short.
It did it felt okay. Well, that makes me feel, because when I'm writing, especially because I wrote it in serial, it's like I'm writing like an episode a week, and so it doesn't seem like it's that long until I go to compile it, and all my readers that I had a couple of developmental readers read it, and they're like, "Do you know how long this book is?" And I was like, Yes, I do. Now I do. I didn't know when I compiled it, but now it was like 154,000 words, which is way over. It's almost like two books maybe. But the thing is, I personally, as a reader, don't like cliffhangers. Like, I mean, I know I write them for serial, but I don't want you to finish a book and be like, feel like you have to buy the next one because you weren't, you didn't finish the story. Like, so when I finished Rose, her story, ended like where I think it needed to end, and Marigold's story ended where it needed to end. It wasn't like, will she and Regan get together? Like, I didn't want to leave any like that you felt like you weren't getting a full story. I guess that's the thing. So I know that's kind of a trend right now, so I'm probably off trend on that, but that's just my preference. So yes, so it's huge because of that.
So you posted a photo of that on Instagram, like as a post, and as an ARC reader that hadn't yet started reading A Sea of Golden Chains, I looked at that and thought, oh no, how am I supposed to get through that by release date? But I did, because it actually felt short when I was reading it. It was pretty.
I was nervous. I'm not gonna lie, I was a little nervous for you when you're like, all right, I'm gonna start it now, and I was like, oh. It's big. But it does, I will say that it does seem to, it flows nicely, that it doesn't feel like too much of a chore. But it's hard when you start with like, I'll pull up the little Jacqueline's, when you start with like little Jacqueline. And even then I was still like, I think the biggest book is collab. So I have a problem. Everybody, my editor, if she was here, she would tell me I never usually let her cut anything. I'm like,
Okay, so next question before we run out of time. Was it hard to write scenes that included captivity, abuse, torture, and madness? And what happens to brain when you write scenes like that? Because I know that I can't write like that because my brain goes haywire and then I start wanting to do things that I shouldn't. So what happens to your brain? Because I was reading this and thinking, but she's such a nice person and this is so dark. Wow. So what happens?
So when I write, I know I write first person, so you would think I'd be in the reader's head, but a lot of times when I see scenes like in my head, it's kind of like watching a movie, so I'm not really like in her body, if that makes any sense, but I'm watching what's happening in her emotions and conveying that through my words. And I also wanted to mention, because I think Disney has kind of changed the fairy tale world. I think we forget how dark the original ones are. Because they can be pretty creepy. Because even if you think of like Rapunzel, for example, I mean, she was abducted as a baby, like stolen from her family and locked in a tower with some crazy lady who is like mentally abusing her. Disney just does a great job glossing over that and then moving to the next bubbly song. And I feel like there's a lot of character development there that made like Rapunzel, because she, she's locked in this tower, and she still has this great attitude about being like a prisoner that she doesn't even realize she is. But I just think that that was, I try to write kind of like imperfect characters and their struggles, because sometimes their story needs to be told. And I know it's hard because I feel bad, and I try to write in little trigger warnings about things like when they have like abuse, or because I know Rose, I don't know if I did it for Rose because Rose came straight from Bella and went right into the book world. And I wasn't even sure if I wanted to actually move it to a book, because this book world is a lot different than the serial world, and I just didn't know what I was doing, and so you'll see me make probably 100 million more mistakes in the process, because I feel like I'm such a new author. I'm just like, oh, you're not supposed to do that. I needed trigger warnings, stuff like that I didn't realize, because Bella is literally like, you write something, you put it in a like text box, and you hit publish, and now it's live to the world, and that's all you had to do. And then you move to Kindle, Unlimited and all that stuff, and you need covers, and you need copyright pages, and you need like back matter and forward matter and all this stuff. And I'm like, oh, I did not get that class. So it's been a fun lesson through everything.
You did a really good job. I'm really glad you didn't move it on Bella, because Bella isn't available in South Africa. And I mean, I don't know, my life would have been very different if I had never read Forest, and especially if I never read Jacqueline. So I'm excited. Yeah, because like it's a just ask thing, actually, my life completely. So I'm very glad you published. Keep publishing for us, please, not just for fellow readers.
I think we might have time for one more. I think we already went past our time.
Yeah,
we're already, because I know you only wanted to do 15 minutes, so I'll just keep trying to do it for you. But you know me, I'm long-winded, sorry. So we can do one more.
Yes. Okay. Okay, let's do number 9. How much does reader opinion influence your book decisions? Like, would you ever leave out a character or give a character his own story or anything because of what readers are saying to you, and to like messaging or on Kindle Villa or I've lost you again, or most people, emails or whatever? How do they connect with you?
So using readers' feedback in Kindle Villa, whether or not I would change a character. Well,
and other people who email maybe, or reviews are a big thing.
So I don't usually, like, especially if it's already been published, I probably wouldn't have changed characters. Now, while I'm writing the story, like if I'm writing it via Kindle Vella, then you're pretty much, I'm writing it as I go. So like people are like, man, I want the next episode. I'm like, me too, because I haven't written it. So I I find that I like to see when they get excited about things. I'm not more like, because I feel like people's negativity is kind of opinion. So if there's like, everybody's like, wow, I really hate that person, and they're not the villain, then maybe I would look at it. But I feel like they were pretty evenly like how they felt about things. Like, this person I definitely did not like because I wrote it that way. And but I did do other things through Vella that did change stuff. So for example, we have polls at the end of the episodes. And so I did ask them for a magical item when they were inside of Riken's ship. And they picked the magic mirror, which kind of trickled over not just from A Sea of Golden Chains, but also in Jacqueline. If you've read that one, you might get the reference between both. But I had a bunch of things. I had a lot of, actually, I think I got a couple from like, I picked like the fork from Little Mermaid. I had the mirror, which I was kind of thinking from Beauty and the Beast. I had like some, they got to pick. And it was actually, every time I do a poll, it's always like really close between two. I did another one towards the end let's see, naming the map. So actually I have it over here. I had different options for what I wanted the continent name to be, and Hamala was the one that won. And so, because I realized my editor was like, you've gone and have a whole book and you never named the continent. And I was like, well, I didn't realize this was going to be a thing. I thought I was just going to post it on Vella, and then that was just going to be it. And then now I'm like, I have 3 books in that world, possibly a 4th in the making. So, yeah. Oh, hey, Chrissy, I didn't know you were here. This is Chrissy. She's also on King of Vella.
Oh, cool. So were there any readers? Questions from here, or were they just listening?
She said, Chrissy said that she loved that we use polls to inspire story elements. Yes, I feel like that's great because it really connects the author to the reader. You don't really get in a traditional book, which is really great, especially the comments. So as soon as you post the episode, you can definitely start getting. I had I guess for Sea of Golden Chains, there was one kind of gripping moment where kind of life and death matter, and I kind of ended it. Like I said, I don't usually like cliffhangers, but I'll do them in Bella's. But I won't end, like I said, I won't end the story with them. And I had a lot of people messaging me ready for the next episode. I'm sorry.
Yeah, for some reason it's still in their head and it needs to go onto the page. Okay, so I don't want to finish. I think I can.
So I think, is it time? Sorry, you're cutting in and out just a smidge.
Yeah, it's 5:21 here. So.
Okay. Yeah, see, is it still light? I wasn't sure what time it was over in Africa.
Yeah, we're 7 hours later than you. So I was hoping it would be sunset, but it isn't.
Yeah.
I know, because you're at the beach, which is nice. You were celebrating Marigold's release at the beach. That's what I like to take it as.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can
Have a look.
There we are.
Oh, it's still really beautiful. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Makes me miss the beach. I want to go. Take me with you. Pack me in your suitcase.
I'll absolutely have you over here in a heartbeat. Especially getting to America, it sounds like it'll be really difficult. One of my friends got turned down for a holiday visa 4 times, and she was going with an American family and coming back with an American family, and they still turned her down. So I'm like, well, if they turned Joanne down, why would they say yes to me? So the dream of meeting you and Mary and Abigail and all of my favorite authors in person might never happen unless you come here. But I'm hoping that maybe one day things will change.
Yeah, I'd have to sell a lot of books. That's a fair player.
But you have a day job, don't you? Or is it just writing?
No, just writing. With my husband's job, we move a lot, so it was hard to. I guess writing makes it easier to be able to move around a lot, and it also is a lot of work. Especially when you move. Like when I was just doing Vella, it was a little more relaxing, but now moving into the book world, there's a lot more to juggle with, marketing and editing and just there's just a lot of hats that you wear that you don't realize. And sometimes I look longingly back at Bella and I'm like, I remember when I just had to post an episode a week. It was really awesome. And so not that it's bad. I really enjoyed, I've met so many new readers, and I met and also worldwide. So Bella was only in the US as of right now. I always say something like that and they're like, guess what, tomorrow it's not, it's everywhere. And I'm like, oh god. So so I get to meet, people that are, not in the U.S. that are reading my stuff now, because otherwise if I had kept it only on Bella, then I wouldn't have got to meet you guys. So that makes me happy.
That makes me very happy. That happened. So yeah, keep publishing, not just on Bella, please. Because I just need more of yours.
I'll try my best.
And then
I do like the covers better. I do like the covers better than my Bella's. My Bella covers. Don't tell anybody. Oh wait, I'm on live. Oh.
So you're recording this, right? So you said we're recording.
Sorry, you're going in and out just a smidge. What is it?
Sorry, we're recording this, right?
Yes. It should, when I finish, it should go straight. It'll ask me if I want to post it on my wall, and I can post it, and I can add you as a collaborator. But I'm guessing we are good because we're actually almost at double our time, and I feel bad because now you're going to have to give every author that you interview extra time because I yabbered too much. But thank you for inviting me. I've said thank you for inviting me and for having me and for reading, for all your kind words that you share about my books. I really appreciate it. And so I'll go ahead and say goodbye to everybody.
Wait, can I say one thing to readers real quick?
Yes, go ahead. Sorry, you're breaking up. It was hard to hear.
Okay. Readers who are watching us live and in the recorded version, remember how important we are to authors. They shouldn't be alone in marketing their books. So we should help them through our reviews, through posts, everything that we can, because they're amazing and they could use our help.
Thank you. Thank you for supporting us. We need more readers like you.
Yeah.
Well, I'll ask my friends to be your readers too.
Yes.
Thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it, even though it was kind of sort of backwards. But hey, you wrote backwards fairy tales, so fitted. This is.
And it was nice meeting you, Heather, and thank you for everybody that came and listened. And I'll go back and read the comments after I end the live. But thank you guys. I'll post this for anybody who missed it on my wall. Thanks.
And one more thing, this is the first, you're the very first, of a series that I want to do called Author Snippets. So the next person will be after the 15th of December. And that's Sarah Bell. That's something
Sarah's the best. She's so sweet.
Yeah, she's amazing.
I'll definitely have to come in and watch her.
Well, that one will be in the middle of my night, like at 2 in the morning, your evening, so it'll be better for you. Because I'll be here.
Oh, I'll be awake then. That'll be nice.
Thank you so much for meeting me today. I hope it's not the last time. I really enjoyed it.
It was so much fun.
It was.
Thank you. Bye.
You're gonna